September 30, 1965 is an important date in the history of Indonesia. According historical records, the NID want to overthrow President Sukarno's government and turn Indonesia into a communist country. So in this video, I want to talk about what communism is and how much do you actually know about it. So let's get discuss. Communism has become one of the key political and economic theories in the world, even though capitalism eventually emerged as the winner. The competition between communism and capitalism became a crucial issue during the Cold War or the conflict between America and the Soviet Union. The communist ideology was born of the Industrial Revolution. It is a political ideology and a type of government system where the government controls the measure of resources tied to society, including housing, education, and also agriculture. Essentially, communism offers the idea that everyone receives equal benefits and aims to eliminate the class system caused by the income inequality under the capitalism. Now, talking about the communism will be complete without mentioning the father of communism himself, Karl Marx, a philosopher and economic observer from Germany. Marx offered the idea of communism through his reading in the Communist Manifesto, which he co-authored with the Friedrich Engels in 1848. According to Marx, the core idea behind this ideology stemmed from the suffering and poverty of the working class and the instability created by the capitalist system. He believed that capitalism had very serious flaws, particularly economic instability caused by the pursuit of profit. Capitalists encourage the idea that hard work is good and the material possession will bring happiness. This mindset is support the rise of mass production, which in turn exploited the lower class or the working class. Marx want the equal distribution of wealth, the abolition of private ownership of goods, and free education for all. All of this was aimed at eliminating class distinction in society. Even though Marx outlined what was needed from a communist society, he never explicitly provided a formula for creating communist country. Initially, Marx's ideas and wording were not well received by the leaders and the public. Eventually, he died in 1883 in London, poor and alone. Sadly, only 11 people attended his funeral. Due to the 1970 Bolshevik Revolution, communism became the global movement spreading and inspiring the revolution in countries like Korea, Vietnam, Kenya, Sudan, Cuba, and China. In China, movement was led by the Mao Zedong, who founded Chinese Communist Party on July 1st, 1921. Today, communism still exists in China, Cuba, and North Korea, Laos, and also Vietnam. A purely communist state has never existed. A country can be called communist if it controls a political and economic aspect, but no country has ever completely abolished private ownership, money, or social classes, which are essential criteria of communist ideology. Since the World War II, especially around the 1990s, the Cold War emerged between Russia and Western countries. The West furthered growth of communism so much that U.S. President Harry Truman delivered a speech to Congress known as the Truman Doctrine to counter the spread of communism. This ultimately led the U.S. into other wars in Vietnam and Korea. Back to Indonesian communism also entered and became a significant political force. particularly through the Indonesian Communist Party or PKI in the 1965 general election. PKI plus 4, earning 16.4% of the vote. Since the early days of Indonesian independence movement, there were three major political streams: the initial parties with an nationalist ideology, Islamic Sharia groups with an Islamic ideology, and PKI's communist ideology. To accommodate and unite these different ideologies, President Sukarno introduced the political concept of Nasakom, short for nationalism, religion, and communism. There were many conflicts before and after. And from my point of view, the utopian dream of communism is good in theory but unrealistic in practice. So that's all for me. See you next time. Bye.